Few love stories in modern musical theater have become as culturally dissected as the one woven through Wicked, Fiyero's unexpected shift of affection from Glinda, the glittering social icon, to Elphaba, the girl society insists on casting as an outsider. On its surface, it seems like a familiar romantic twist: a popular boy falls for the unconventional girl. But as soon as you look closer, the dynamics reveal a far more complex and revealing story, one that continues to resonate deeply with women who see themselves in Elphaba's defiance, vulnerability, and authenticity. What looks like a betrayal becomes something else entirely, a cultural mirror. To understand why Fiyero's choice matters, you have to look at who he is when the story begins. Fiyero is not simply popular, he's a product of a system that rewards performance over self-awareness. His personality is not a natural extension of who he is, but a polished act handed to him by the expectations of privilege. His famous insistence on dancing through life isn't carefree joy, it's emotional avoidance masked as charm. And in Oz, that avoidance works. He fits the mold perfectly, until someone challenges him. Elphaba is the disruption that exposes the cracks in Fiyero's persona. From the moment she confronts him, she treats him not as a prince or an idol but as a flawed young man whose nonchalance isn't as effortless as it seems. She doesn't admire him for his reputation. She questions him, pushes him, even irritates him, and the irritation matters. In psychological terms, irritation often indicates the presence of something unfamiliar, something that destabilizes a self-image. For Fiyero, that destabilizing force isn't Glinda's adoration, it's Elphaba's honesty. She becomes the first person who refuses to engage with his performance. Instead, she sees through it. And Fiyero, who has built an entire identity on not being seen too deeply, finds himself drawn to the person who sees him most clearly. Meanwhile, Glinda represents comfort, predictability, and social harmony. Their relationship, while affectionate, operates in the realm of public expectation. They look right together. They fit the story that Oz wants to tell. Glinda, for all her genuine warmth, loves Fiyero as he appears, the carefree prince, the ideal partner, the image. And this isn't Glinda's failure, it's the role she is also expected to embody. She and Fiyero are two people shaped by the same pressure to maintain appearances, to be perfect, to be adored. Their love story is, in many ways, a public performance that mirrors their culture. Fiyero's choice to lead that world is rarely analyzed deeply enough. It is not a spontaneous romantic impulse. It is an identity break. Studies of personal growth show that people often shift partners when they shift internally, when they move from external validation to internal truth. Fiyero's growing disillusionment with the way Oz operates, combined with his increasing awareness of Elphaba's moral courage, creates a fracture in him. He becomes unable to continue playing a role he no longer identifies with. Choosing Elphaba means choosing the part of himself that is truthful. It means abandoning the version of himself that Oz shaped. In this sense, his so-called betrayal isn't simply romantic, it's political, psychological, and symbolic. He leaves Glinda because he can't remain the person she fell in love with. And Glinda, heartbreakingly, understands this. Her pain is real, and it exposes the complexity of loving someone's facade when the person underneath changes. But the most fascinating angle in this story isn't Fiyero's transformation. It's the way women respond to it. Across forums, interviews, essays, and years of audience reaction, there is a pattern so consistent it cannot be dismissed. Women overwhelmingly identify with Elphaba, not Glinda, and they cite Fiyero's choice as a profound source of emotional validation. Why? The answer lies in the cultural mythology of desirability. Elphaba represents the girl who doesn't fit into society's beauty ideals. The girl who is too passionate, too intense, too outspoken. The girl who feels invisible in rooms built to celebrate someone else. She is the embodiment of the unchosen girl, the one who rarely gets the romantic spotlight in mainstream stories, the one who doesn't match the packaged femininity that Glinda represents. And then something extraordinary happens: she is chosen. Not out of pity. Not because she improves herself. But because she is already enough. For many women, this reversal is more than a plot point, it's a rebuttal to the narratives they grew up with. It tells them that their depth, complexity, and authenticity are not liabilities. They are magnetic. Elphaba does not hide her convictions, nor soften her rough edges, nor minimize her moral outrage. She does not make herself more palatable to earn affection. And yet, she becomes the one Fiyero loves when he finally stops pretending. Her authenticity calls forth his. Their relationship develops not in the public eye, but in private understanding, a dynamic that mirrors the kind of intimacy that real life, not fairy tales, is built on. If Glinda represents the story society wants, Elphaba represents the story individuals need. In a culture that pressures women to be agreeable, pleasing, and emotionally manageable, Elphaba offers a counter-narrative, that being too much can be exactly right for the person who is meant to see you. In the context of Oz's political tensions, Fiyero's choice also becomes a rebellion. To love Elphaba is to reject Oz's propaganda, its obsession with appearances, its fear of difference, its need for conformity. His love for her is an act of resistance, a refusal to continue participating in a system built on deception. In that light, his betrayal becomes a liberation, not only from societal expectations but from his own inherited role. And so the love story resonates, not because it is dramatic, but because it is honest. It reveals that real connection rarely forms between two perfect people performing perfect roles. It forms between flawed individuals who choose to show their imperfections to each other. When audiences watch Fiyero walk away from Glinda and toward Elphaba, they are not simply witnessing a romantic pivot. They are witnessing a declaration: authenticity is more powerful than perfection. For many women, that message is not only comforting, it is revolutionary. It challenges the idea that desirability is earned through conformity. It reminds them that the qualities society labels as too much, too intense, too emotional, too outspoken, can be the very qualities that draw the right partner closer. Fiyero doesn't choose Elphaba despite who she is. He chooses her because of who she is. And that choice, measured not in spectacle, but in truth, is why this story continues to matter. It shifts the cultural script. It says the girl who is difficult, complicated, bold, and misunderstood is not only worthy of love. She is worthy of being chosen.